So also it's being presented on Instagram Live. For those of you that are interested in my work and offerings, this class is open to the public, free of charge. And it's I have been presenting this class since right around the time that COVID began. Now, obviously, this class is not what started COVID, but I realized a lot of years ago that I wanted to be able to give people an alternative in finding inner peace and multiple sources of happiness. So there are several things that I offer. The Monday night class, these Monday meditation, the Joy of Sitting Hour, is one of them. Tomorrow night is the Art of Connection meeting. And similarly, this Tuesday night is focused on meditation and also contemplation. The lane that I function within has to do with loving kindness and integrating loving kindness into our daily life as a remedy, as a way of finding happiness by beginning with how you relate with yourself, how you speak with yourself, how you treat yourself. Where are you in the list of tasks that you need to do in any given day, and which needs are being nurtured? Over many years of training, I found that meditation is an incredible gift that only you can give to yourself. So let me tell you what I have in store for this evening. Although before I do that, I also wanted to share that for those of you that maybe don't want to go through a whole 1 hour class just to see if this is something that you like, Monday through Friday, no matter if there's a holiday or not, I offer, again, a free little dip into meditation. It's like sticking your toe in the water. I call it the Magnificent Morning Meditation. Now, tonight, and first of all, the theme of this week, and I always seem to generate a theme for the week. The theme for this week is spaciousness. Now, this isn't about spacing out, although it sounds like it has a lot to do with spacing out. But spacing out is another form of distraction. It's we do video games or whatever we do that occupies our attention, and we give our life force to it, but it is not necessarily nurturing on some of the deeper levels. It does seem to take care of the moment, the momentary, the need that you may have in the moment for something to do. But as far as providing happiness, and there is a level of happiness that does provide for, there are deeper forms of happiness that are waiting if you're interested in seeing how to get there. So tonight, the theme is spaciousness. And in a moment, we're going to go into that and explore what I mean by spaciousness and how you can find how to use spaciousness within your daily life. And I picked this as the theme for the week because with so many things going on right now, we're just a few days away from Christmas. And with all of the holidays and everything else, I thought that the theme of spaciousness would be extremely helpful. I like to wave back to people that are showing up, that are here. Edward.s.rosa, great to see you here tonight. It's been a while since I've seen you. Wonderful to see you. And if there's specific themes or content regarding meditation and mindfulness practice that you would be interested in having me include in tonight's meeting, please write in the comment area so that I can attend to that. So after a brief talk about spaciousness tonight, we're going to following the talk on spaciousness, we will do our spaciousness meditation, which is an incredible meditation that has to do with seeing that while our thoughts are riveting, while we feel driven to occupy every conscious moment with thought, there is more to our life than that. And so part of discovering that more is we start to investigate the space around our thoughts and this profound sense of peace that also is there. And then after we do our spaciousness meditation, I will talk about something that has to do with releasing stress and a stress release method that also, when used throughout your day, helps you to feel more connected to yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and in which you come to see how and where you experience impact throughout your life without blaming others. We have sensitivities. That's the gift. That's part of the gift. Now, while sometimes your sensitivities are activated in ways that are not pleasurable, but that too is part of the gift. It's no one's fault. It's just your experience. And this isn't to blame you or anyone else. I'm going to wave back to another person that just got here. Junor9257. Great to see you here this evening. Thank you for joining our meeting. And then after I talk some about this body scanning method, we will utilize that and also utilize something called a heart centering meditation, and in which you will experience just incredible depths within yourself that hopefully will bring you a sense of joy. Following that, I will talk some about how we can transform our unpleasant feelings in a way that gives us something other than just discomfort. It also helps us to find compassion for ourselves and for others. And this is just a 1-hour meeting. I'd like to pack it with a lot of different experiences. And then following that, we'll take a look at what we did, and we'll close our meeting with an adaptation of the Beauty Way prayer from the Native American Church. So unless there is a comment that some of you have regarding what you might need regarding meditation and mindfulness practice in this meeting, I'm going to launch into this, and I will be looking to see what comments you might have. So in the beginning of this rant, I talked about spaciousness. So when you look at spaciousness in your body, in your mind, where does it show up? And so part of it is, what do you have space for? Who do you have space for? And especially with all of the activities that go with these holiday seasons, regardless of your faith tradition, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or other faith traditions. This past Saturday was the winter solstice. All of these various traditions that go back thousands of years. So when I'm saying that, I'm saying it to recognize that human beings have valued this time of year for a long time. And so with all of the activities that go on, we can get very outer directed. I've got to go to this party, and I'll be seeing these people, and what's going to happen. And, we do all this planning stuff. And in that, it can be very cerebral. It can be very mental. And at the same time, we can have experiences of dread. I don't know if I want to do that tonight, and maybe I want a night off, or whatever it is. So part of dread is an indication that maybe you need time for yourself. And you can build that in, even a short moment of meditation. Excuse me. Even a short moment of meditation can give you, it's like taking a breath. You breathe out, but then you need to breathe in. And so these ancient practices can be very helpful for helping you to acquire some of the space. So especially as we go into this holiday season more and more, and New Year's coming up in about a week, a little over a week, and all of that, finding space for yourself can be critical. So let's go ahead and do our opening meditation, this spaciousness meditation, and see where we go. Now, it's always a good idea with meditation to readjust the way that your body is resting on the surface it's resting. And when you're ready, very slowly and gently allow your eyelids to drift downward until they do close. And notice the depth of your breath. Is your breath only coming down to about your shoulders? Or in your breathing, do you experience your shoulders, chest, and belly wall expand on your inhalations and release on your exhalations? Just the natural rhythmic movement of your breath. Not to become hyperventilated, but just breathing at the natural rhythmic movement with the natural rhythmic movement of your breath, gently in, gently out, and allowing your awareness to be sensitive to the feeling of your shoulders, chest, and belly wall expanding on your inhalations and releasing on your exhalations. And also allowing your awareness to be aware of some of the qualities of your breath, like the coolness and dryness of your inhalations and the warmth and moist quality of your exhalations, along with your awareness of the natural rhythmic movement of your breath. Again, with your shoulders, chest, and belly wall expanding on your inhalations and releasing on your exhalations, and allowing your awareness to be sensitive additionally to the beating of your heart and your pulse that travels throughout your body. And as you continue to be aware of your breath and breathing and the way that the movement of your body with the expansion and release, the natural rhythmic movement of your body, also allowing yourself to be aware of thought and emotion. And notice the space within yourself that your thoughts and emotions arise within. Continuing to be aware of your breath and breathing, the beating of your heart and your pulse, and the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within. And noticing the natural tendency with thought to grab a thought, to notice how some thoughts come and go, some thoughts may linger, some thoughts may convert into fantasies, like dreamlike images. And notice the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within. And as you continue to be aware of your breath and breathing, the beating of your heart and your pulse, and the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within, beginning to become aware, allow yourself to become aware of this space that your thoughts and emotions arise within. And noticing some of the qualities of this space, like this sense of calm, this calmness in this space, while continuing to be aware of your breath and breathing, the beating of your heart and your pulse, the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within, and this calm sense, this peaceful calm that's in this space that your thoughts and emotions arise within. Continuing to be aware of your breath and breathing, the beating of your heart and your pulse, and the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within. And notice as you allow yourself to be aware of this peaceful calm of this space, the ease that that gives you in continuing to be aware of your body, the beating of your breathing, the beating of your heart and your pulse, the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within, and this peaceful calm that's always right here. Softening that much more deeply into your calm, and taking just another moment to unhook and float and drift within this peaceful calm that's in this space that your thoughts and emotions arise. And the ease of mind, of heart that gives you in allowing what is to be right here. And this peaceful calm that receives it all. And taking another slow and gentle deep breath in, and gently releasing this breath and allowing your breath to find its own natural rhythm once again, free of control. Slowly beginning to move your fingers and your toes, gently stretching your hands and your feet, slowly moving your wrists and your ankles, gently shrugging your shoulders and stretching your back and your neck and your arms and your legs. And when you're ready, slowly let your eyes come back open and notice if the room seems a little different than before, and if you feel a little different than you did. If there is a difference and you're enjoying this difference, please soften into it and recognize that this is a gift that you've given to yourself. And I'm waving back to Sheila B. Tillett. Thank you for being here. And Lucy Wenjin Dong, wonderful to see you tonight. And if you want to be in the video, there's a way of doing that. And the way it looks like this. If you go to my website, artofconnection.com, and you go through the normal stuff with websites and agreements and stuff like that, you'll get access to the Zoom, to the Monday meditation space, which is a Zoom space. And there's room for those of you that want to be in the live video through that window. I don't know if that can all be done tonight, and I am working toward a single source multimedia format, but I haven't quite gotten there yet. So I welcome all of you to this space, and it's such a joy to see you tonight. And once again, the theme of this week is spaciousness and having space for yourself. That's where it starts, doesn't it? So that was our spaciousness meditation. And you can see the gift that that spaciousness gives you in terms of this peaceful calm that's within your own being. You don't have to look very far. It's just right here. And I understand that this may be an introduction for you, or you may know this space quite well. Whether it's new or you're very familiar with it, it's a joy to see you here tonight. And thank you for being here. Again, if you do have other comments, focal points that you'd like to have included in this space, please write in the comment area, and I would be happy to include those for tonight. So now that we've done the spaciousness meditation, let's take a look at one of the ancient practices. So this practice is known to go back, this particular one, at least about 2,500 years, probably older than that. It was said that the Buddha taught his students this particular method. Whether he originated this or whether he learned it in his studies as a Brahmin priest, that I don't know. My Buddhist teacher many years ago taught me this method, and I want to share it with you. I call it a body-centered mindfulness practice. It's also a stress release method. And what I found in using it over all of these years, I've been using it since 1972, so roughly about 52 years. What I found that my teacher didn't tell me about in the moment, but over time, our life experience in a way is a teacher, isn't it? And one of the ancient teachings has to do with impermanence, that any one of us, all of us, only have so long on this earth plane. But while we're here, we do experience stresses of different types, and especially in the holiday season with gift giving and activities and how you get from here to there, and whether you enjoy being in group um, experiences or not, holiday gatherings, whatever it is for you, there can be stress. And so recognizing stress and different aspects of stress, utilizing this body-centered mindfulness practice helps us to see how we feel impacted by what happens and what doesn't happen in your life. Where do you feel it in your body? Where do you feel it in your thoughts and emotions? Where do you experience it? And so part of this body-centered mindfulness practice is beginning to see that we're not just a victim of our experiences, but we also can engage with them. And so part of engaging with them is using our muscles, using our ability to tighten around a specific places. And that's partly what stress does, doesn't it? We seize around certain thoughts and emotions. We seize around certain bodily experiences. And in that tightness, sometimes it feels like a knot that we don't know how to unwind. And we look for how can we unwind this, whether it's in your gut or a little higher, maybe it's in your heart and chest, maybe it's in your shoulders that at some point feel like they're way up, or other places. For some people, it's other parts of their body, whether it's hips, pelvis, legs, arms, hands, wherever it is for you. So it is body-centered mindfulness practice helps us to see where we're stressing and how we're doing that. Where is it tight? And noticing that we can actually unwind that. There's a way of unwinding it. And we'll do that in just a moment. We'll go through this unwinding so that you can experience the natural tendency to tighten around certain content, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, on whatever level we experience it, that we begin to become aware of, oh, this is how I relate with this type of impact. When this person says this, or they don't say that, or whatever the particular part, we begin to see how we respond and react to certain life experiences. I'm sorry, just had a message that floated through. I can't do anything about that right now, but that's okay. I can do something about it later. And just like that, a message comes into your life. Maybe it's a message that someone is messaging you, or maybe it's something else. And then how do we grip it? And how do we release it? How do we set it over here for later? And knowing that there is a later, and most likely we'll be alive in that later, and we can do something about it. But this part has to do with becoming aware of how your body experiences impact, physical, mental, emotional. I consider that there are four bodies: physical body, mental body, emotional body, and spiritual body. And we have experiences on all these different levels. So when there's impact, then how are we responding to it? And typically, we armor ourselves, we tighten around it. And then most people don't know how to unwind that. So maybe we go for a massage, and there's nothing wrong with massage. Or we work out, or whatever the particulars. this is another approach to how to unwind it. Now, on the heels of that, piggybacked on this body-centered mindfulness practice, we will do a heart-centering meditation. And this is an incredible meditation that's also known to go back at least 1,000 years, over 1,000 years. And it's part of some of the ancient traditions that this meditation was utilized because of what it offers, what it gives you in the end. And with that, and you'll see this incredible experience that comes with that. Now, sometimes a person may shut down their heart because it's too painful. And yet, if you're going to go forward in your life, are you going to be shut down for your entire life? Because that's really a living hell. And I know, from, firsthand experience what that's like when we shut down. When earlier in my life, I tried to armor myself against feelings, but it just made it worse. It made a prison of myself in this darkness and this contraction. And the only way to come through it was to feel it. So if you can give yourself the ability to name it so you can claim it so you can work with it, work on it, and then work on it so that you can free yourself, so you can process it through. So let's go ahead and we'll do some of this body-centered mindfulness practice, followed by the heart-centering meditation. So, this class is relatively short. It's a 1-hour class. These meditations also are relatively short, about 6 or 7 minutes. And part of what I will ask you to take a look at is how even a relatively short meditation can give you an experience that's valuable. So once again, just repositioning the way that your body's resting on the surface that your body's resting, and very gently allowing your eyelids to drift downward until they do close. And this is the body-centered mindfulness practice part of it. First, taking a slow and gentle deep breath in, and gently releasing this breath, and allowing your breath to find its own natural rhythm once again, free of control. Beginning to scan, to feel on the inside of your body, on the inside of your being, from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, looking for the locations and content where your stress, tension, pain, and discomforts reside, whether they're physical, mental, emotional, and or spiritual, or any combinations thereof, no matter how large or how small, no matter whether they've been sourced by feeling overwhelmed by the holiday or feeling lonely, or it could be the impact of rapid growth with its joys and challenges, or anxieties, worries, concerns, whatever it may be for you, whether it's loneliness, feeling disconnected, whatever it is, noticing where these reside within your conscious space, your physical body, mental, emotional, and or spiritual. Notice where it resides within your being. All of the above. There may be multiple sources and multiple places. And sometimes we do grab our thoughts, we do grab our emotions, we do grab impact, we do grab our feelings. And allowing your love to work for you and through you by giving these locations and content a very warm, tender, nurturing, caring, loving, inclusive, and connecting embrace. And softening your embrace and releasing. Gently bringing the very center of the focus of your attention to this feeling of release. And allowing this feeling of release to flow throughout your entire being. And allowing all of your senses to register this experience of release. And softening into this experience of release. And scanning once again from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, looking for the locations and content of your stress, tension, pain, and discomfort of any kind, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, and or spiritual, or any combinations thereof, no matter how large or how small, wherever it resides within your being. And giving these locations and content the gentlest of warm, tender, nurturing, caring, loving, inclusive, and connecting embrace. The gentlest embrace. And softening your embrace and releasing. Gently allowing this feeling of release to flow throughout your entire being. And allowing all of your senses to register this experience of release. And softening into this experience of release. Scanning one more time from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, looking for the locations and content where your stress, tension, pain, and discomforts reside, whether they're physical, mental, emotional, and or spiritual, or any combinations thereof, no matter how large or how small, even if it's just the tiniest of the tiny. Notice where they reside within your being. And this time, just the gentlest of touches, whisper soft, barely touching the fringes of these places with a warm, tender, nurturing, caring, loving, inclusive, and connecting contact, barely touching. And softening and releasing. Gently bringing the very center of the focus of your attention to this feeling of release. And allowing this feeling of release to flow throughout your entire being. And allowing all of your senses to register this experience of release. And softening into this experience of release. slowly and gently bringing the very center of the focus of your attention to the dull ache in your heart, the doorway in. And you know this dull ache from many losses that you may have had throughout your life, like the desire to belong, or the desire to be something else than what you're doing, or the loss of something that was very near and dear to your heart, that heartbreak, or even new love as you feel it. Where do you feel it? This place. And leaning backward into this dull ache, leaning backward into the door that goes into your heart, and leaning back more and more and more until you somewhat plop inside your own heart. And allowing all of your senses to register the experience of being on the inside of your heart. And noticing the place within your heart that your love always arises from. Whether your love is for a person, a place, a thing, a two-legged, a no-legged, whatever it is for you, even your love for yourself. Notice the place within your heart that your love always arises from. And allowing your love to flow through you and around you. And allowing all of your senses to register this pure love that lives within you. And softening into your pure love and allowing it to saturate your being. Allowing your pure love to touch every aspect of your being. And noticing some of the essences of love that live within your love, like instruments in a great symphony that play together the melody to the night, the melody to your life and the day and this experience. Essences like caring and kindness and compassion. And even this amazing vibration that's part of your love, that is this vibration of connection. And when you feel connected to a person, a place, a thing, even to yourself, this vibration of connection with your appetite, your need, your desire, and what it feels like when you feel connected, and how it feels when you simply aren't able to, for whatever the reason may be. Your vibration of connection. And allowing your vibration of connection to flow through you and around you. And allowing all of your senses to register this pure connection that lives within you. And softening into your pure connection and allowing it to saturate your being. Taking just another moment to allow yourself to experience this beautiful connection that lives within you. And taking just another moment to unhook and float and drift within this pure connection that's always here. And taking another slow and gentle deep breath in, and gently releasing this breath and allowing your breath to find its own natural rhythm once again, free of control. Slowly beginning to move your fingers and your toes, gently stretching your hands and your feet, slowly moving your wrists and your ankles, gently shrugging your shoulders and stretching your back and your neck and your arms and your legs. And when you're ready, slowly let your eyes come back open and notice if the room and space around you seems a little different than before. And if you feel a little different than you did. If there is a difference and you're enjoying this difference or curious about it, please soften into it and recognize that this is a gift that you've given to yourself. And I'm waving back to the Indigo Sage. Thank you for being here tonight. Wonderful to see you in this space. So again, if there are any comments or concerns, any needs that you would like perhaps to mention, to give me an opportunity to include that in tonight's meeting, please write in the comment area. And if you would like to chat one-to-one at a different time, please direct message me and we can set that up. Now, this next part is takes us to our final meditation of tonight, and this is the last talk that precedes the meditations, just to kind of set the stage for it. I'm sure you're aware that in terms of your ability to feel your feelings, that there are pleasant feelings and there are unpleasant feelings. And whether it occurred to you or not, I'm asking you to open your mind and your heart to recognize that this gift of being able to feel anything includes both pleasant and unpleasant feelings. And the fact that you feel the pleasant and the unpleasant, that's correct, isn't it? You feel that. Now, you might want to push away from unpleasant feelings and wish that you didn't have them, but how does that work? When you try to push them away, doesn't that really shut you down? Isn't there another arc or path that gives you this sense of being able to work it through and gain benefit from it? So this next meditation, again, is one of the ancient meditations that goes way back, more than 1,000 years. And there's a collection of meditations and contemplations that has to do with one of my passions, which has to do with loving kindness and the daily practice of loving kindness. So this meditation is very helpful because it gives us another avenue for processing, for transforming our unpleasant emotions into something that's very useful. And part of what's useful and very helpful in our lives overall is compassion for ourselves and also our compassion for others. We're all going through this together, aren't we? And while your experiences may be very different than mine, Aren't there still pleasant and unpleasant feelings? So once again, as we approach this meditation, I ask you all just to take a moment to readjust your position, how your body's positioned on the surface that your body's resting. And this meditation can be done eyes open or eyes closed. I've done it both ways, and both ways work. And also the body-centered mindfulness practice that preceded our last meditation can be done eyes open and eyes closed. You can do it on the fly, and it still has tremendous benefit. So let's go ahead and do this transforming unpleasant emotions and see where we go. Now, with this meditation, we always start by picking out the most unpleasant meditation of your day or past few days, maybe memories as we approach the holiday season of less than pleasant experiences from your past, events where people around you may have acted out in not so nice ways to hurt your feelings, other people's feelings. You pick out the worst one. What's your most unpleasant experience within the past few days, maybe past month, that's still kind of lingering in the shadows of your mind and your heart? And so if you're going to do it eyes closed, very gently allow your eyes to drift downward until they do close. And you know, with unpleasant emotions, when we're in it, we breathe those unpleasant emotions. You breathe your unpleasant emotions into your body, and you breathe them out, breathing those unpleasant feelings in and out. And you know that that really doesn't help you to process that. So taking your most unpleasant emotion and on the next in-breath, breathing your most unpleasant emotion into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and your human experience. And breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and your human experience. Breathing in your most unpleasant emotion into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and your human experience. Breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and this human experience. Breathing in your most unpleasant emotion into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and your human experience. Breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and your human experience. Continuing to breathe, leaving your eyelids closed, and considering if we had some magical device capable of measuring all of the qualities and distinctions of everyone, every human being on this plane of existence in this present moment, even though their circumstances may be very different than yours, how many of them would measure in all reality? How many of them would measure so close to your measurement as to be indistinguishable? One other person, 10 other people, perhaps hundreds or thousands or even millions of people feeling just like you do. On the next in-breath, breathing in your most unpleasant emotion into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Breathing in your most unpleasant emotion into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Breathing in your most unpleasant emotion into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Continuing to breathe, leaving your eyelids closed, and evaluating. In all reality, do you feel any more compassion for yourself and your human experience? And just soften into that if you can. And also, do you feel any more compassion for other humans who have life experiences just like you? Human experiences just like you. And when you're ready, slowly let your eyes come back open, noticing if the room and space around you seems a little different than before, and if you feel different than you did before. If there is a difference and you're enjoying this difference or curious about it, please soften into it and recognize that this is a gift that you've given to yourself. So let's take a look at what we did tonight. I started out by letting you know the theme for this week, which is spaciousness, having space for yourself and your human experience. It all starts there, doesn't it? If you don't have space for yourself, how are you going to have space for others? And it works that way, doesn't it? So I talk more about spaciousness and a mindfulness practice of spaciousness. And then we did our spaciousness meditation. Afterward, I talked some about the body-centered mindfulness practice and its utility to help us to release stress. And then we did some of that. And then piggybacked on that last part with this doorway into your heart and this sense of pure love and pure connection was like the cherry on top. It was this incredible experiences of pure connection and how close it is. Following that, I talk some about the gift that we've all received in being able to experience both pleasant and unpleasant feelings, whether they're physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual emotions. All of this. Sometimes our emotions are very uncomfortable and painful, disturbing. But we experience that because we're capable of experiencing it. This is our birthright, to feel the pleasant and unpleasant emotions. And then we did this transforming unpleasant emotions meditation. We just did that. And perhaps for you, you felt compassion for yourself and your human experience, and also compassion for others, and also for their human experience. We're all going through this. While there may be many sides of any particular facet of life, aren't we all going through this? Some people may have hardened their heart, but that's a living hell. I wouldn't want that for you. It's better, in my opinion, to feel all of it because that gives you fluidity of mind and heart, that you're capable, and also capable of having a very full and rich life experience. Now we're about to close our meeting with an adaptation of the Beauty Way prayer from the Native American Church. And So what I'm doing that may look like I'm partially distracted isn't just to simply distract myself, but what I've done in the Zoom space, and I'm not quite sure how to do that in the Instagram space just yet, is to put a different virtual background in of the Milky Way. And here's why. This beauty way prayer has to do with beauty, but it's not just the beauty of humanity, of human beings. It's the beauty that's all around us, this incredible beauty. So one of the larger constructs of beauty is the Milky Way. And you know the Milky Way is very large, so large perhaps that it transcends our understanding. And also its lifetime from whatever the Big Bang, if that's true that there was a Big Bang to now, what a huge lifetime, much greater than one human birth. But in saying that, I'm not diminishing you or me. This isn't to diminish us in our mind, in our heart, but it's to help us to remember that we are a part of something that is so incredible that it transcends our understanding. And also in the Native American church, the directions are important. They're sacred, whether it's north, south, east, and west. What the teaching is, if you know what the directions are, you know where you stand. And one of the ways of knowing that is knowing where the sun rises and where the sun sets. Excuse me. Now, if you internalize that teaching of the directions and knowing where you stand, look at the directions in your life. Earlier in your life, maybe the direction, of course, hopefully was to grow up healthy and well without too many scars, whether they're physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, and being capable of doing what you needed to do to have a full and rich life. The direction. Where do you stand in relationship to fulfilling this life for yourself? Which also has to do with how we impact others and how we feel impacted by others. What's the direction? Where do you stand? Is it retaliatory? Is it open-minded heart? Does it have compassion for the human experience? What's true for you? So when I say a specific direction, if you consider the Milky Way, can you expand your consciousness to experience that part of the Milky Way? Because the Milky Way is all around us, isn't it? We're a part of something that is incredible. So here we go. Beauty that is in front of us. And beauty that is behind us. And beauty that is to the left of us. And beauty that is to the right of us. And beauty that is underneath us. And beauty that is above us. And beauty that is all around us. And it is essential to remember the beauty that is within us. Dear friends, there's a word spoken in the language that the Navajo people speak. This word means walk in beauty. It's pronounced something like this: Ojana Haslain, Ojana Haslain, Ojana Haslain. Dear friends, walk in beauty. And please remember that you bring the beauty with you wherever you go. Walk in beauty. Namaste, Gasho, many blessings, and walk in beauty. Thank you for tonight. Have a beautiful evening.